Hold up.
I'm so excited that we get to talk though, because you are killing it in the hair salon industry.
Oh, thanks.
Yes. So first and foremost, can you share for my students, and then we'll just dive on in a little bit, kind of
Yeah.
where you come from. I mean, I've gotten to see you rise quite a bit as a hairstylist, first and foremost working in a salon, but share just a little bit about your hairstylist journey.
Yeah. So I started doing hair. I graduated back in 2010. So I've been in a salon since late 2010. And I worked with the same salon when I first started out for the first 5 years or so. And then in the last about a year and a half ago, I transferred to a new salon after managing with the old salon for a few years. I ended up getting laid off. So I started with a new salon, Bryce Germain Salon, last February. And so I've been there about a year and a half now. And I have been over the last year really focusing on not only my independent business behind the chair and in the salon, but also trying to branch out and do a few contests and competitions and things like that to focus more on the high fashion side of styling and hair, essentially photo shoots, things like that. So
So
yeah.
cool. And you work for a salon, but down the road, you possibly want to explore other options.
So yes, so I will stay in the same salon that I'm with, but planning to go independent. So fully being in charge of my own advertising, running my own books, my own clientele,
Yeah.
all that fun stuff. So yeah, yeah,
You can do that at that salon. They let you go
yeah,
independent. That is so smart. So they don't lose
yeah.
everybody. Okay.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
kind of weird because yes, you're working for a company, but you're not considered an employee
Yeah.
because in it. So they essentially provide the space under one big roof. It's not something like some of the Sola salons and stuff where you kind of pick, like you have a room that you decorate and do your own. It's not like that. It's all
Okay.
one fluid space, but everyone gets to either choose to be independent or employee. And so I will soon move into the independent field and be able to just kind of do everything myself. So yeah.
That's really cool. Is that the hair district?
No, where I'm working.
Yeah.
No, I am with Bryce Germain Salon.
Oh, I didn't, did you used to be somewhere else? I thought you were.
I So I was with Taj Salon and Spa for the first like 5 years,
Yes.
and then they came under new ownership, and I was there for a little while, and then new ownership went out of business, unfortunately. So that's when I got laid off, and then transferred to Bryce Germain. So
Okay.
yeah,
The time to
yeah,
take control of your own business and your
yeah.
life. That's pretty cool because that's kind of the best of both worlds. So you're going to be completely responsible for your books, your clientele, your own advertising. Will they give you overflow, or is it not necessarily the kind of salon that has that?
So yes and no.
Okay.
The For the people that are employees and working for the salon owner, they will be kind of first priority. But obviously, like if I were the only one available at a certain time, I would get overflow. But it is, I would definitely be last priority.
Yeah. Okay, fair enough. Okay, so I would just love to hear a little bit about, because so remember I have my background in being a hairstylist. It's one of
Yep.
my favorite industries. I always say if I were going to leave marketing, I'd go back to hair because I loved it. I thought it was so fun. Of course, there are pros and cons to everything. Um,
Oh,
how familiar are you with marketing? One of the things I find with most hairstylists, it's not a bad thing at all, but
yeah,
their knowledge of marketing usually is just like social media, and then that's about it,
yeah.
and that's okay. But how familiar are you with different concepts? Just share a little of your knowledge, and then I'm going to ask you a couple of questions.
Yeah, so not much.
Okay, perfect.
um, so not very familiar. I mean, my primary sources have been social media and things like that. I would say more often than not Instagram, just because it's the one that I'm most familiar with. I do use Facebook, and I've done some like paid promotions and stuff like that. But that is really like my very limited limited stuff. So yeah.
So you're already ahead of a lot of people in the hair industry. That's a good
Okay.
thing. Like, that was where I realized that I had a start in marketing because that was all I knew was Instagram, Facebook, boosting an occasional post. You don't really know how it works. You're like, I'm just going to boost this and see what happens. So I'm going to ask you a
Yeah.
couple of questions. Are you familiar with building your own email list?
No.
Okay, perfect. Are you familiar with Ads Manager in Facebook? Oh, are you frozen? Oh, you froze
A
for
little bit. Yeah.
a little
Oh,
bit.
sorry.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
I mean, very minimal. I know of it, and that is about it.
Perfect. Are you familiar? Oh, one question. Will you be allowed to have your own website?
I'm not sure about that, but I would say that I likely am allowed to.
Okay.
Um, yeah, because they're fine with us doing any of our own marketing, and they know that I've been working on some independent stuff too. So I
Okay.
assume so. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So I want to make sure you can hear me because it's kind of breaking up with the signal. If you guys can hear me, just let me know in the chat just so I can make sure it's not
Yeah.
my connection. Let's see. Let me know in the chat if either of us or both of us are breaking up. Somebody, they'll let us know in just a second. So one of the things that is absolutely essential for any business, this is the lifeblood of absolutely any business, is building an email list. And the craziest part is I remember, like, I had never heard of that when I was in the hair industry. No one talks about it. But
Yeah.
an email list is basically this idea of you saying, I have this group of people who are qualified potential clients where if I send out an email, I book appointments with all of them. And so I imagine this incredible process where you become one of the industry leaders in having an email list as a hairstylist. I will tell you, it's very uncommon for hairstylists to have an email list that they actively use. Here's kind of what it looks like. So this is so crazy because it's a foundation for any business. So the salons know it. They don't tell you guys this. They don't tell you that all the money's in the email list. But the salon knows if they send out a weekly promotion, people come in. That's
Yeah.
how it works. It's how advertising works. But here's the beauty of the email list. Once somebody's on your list, you don't ever have to pay again to market to them. So
Yeah.
that's why it becomes super, super powerful. So I imagine you building a really strong email list of females who are in your target market. So I'm guessing it's going to be a 10, maybe actually in Minnesota, it could even be like a 20-mile radius because you know how people will drive to meet the right stylist.
Totally.
I'd go to St. Paul for the right stylist. I'd complain about it, but I'd go. So I think
Totally.
you could literally target almost everyone within a certain radius, almost of Minneapolis, and pretty much all around Minneapolis, people are going to come.
Yeah.
So I know that might be like a really overwhelming. You're like, how in the world do I build an email list? The idea of an email list kind of comes from literally, when you go into a salon and you write down your email,
Yeah.
that's where the email list started. And most salons have not refined this process. It's you write down or type out your email, and then that's how you get the email blast. Well,
Yeah.
that's great. And that's something that you can do in person. Like if you're meeting with somebody, instead of you giving them your card, ask for their card. And this is why, because then all of a sudden you have their email and the ability to send them promotions from then on. So it kind of flips the marketing script a little bit and you say, oh, I'm out of cards. Could I actually get your card and I'm going to send you something really cool? And
Yeah.
so as soon as you add somebody to your email list, what's going to happen is you can send them a welcome sequence where day one, they get one email and it's like, who is it, Naomi? And you tell a little bit about your background, your specialties, exactly what you focus on. You could even include like pictures of before and afters in that intro email. And then a week later, a couple days later, they get an email that shows them the latest promotion that you're running.
Yeah.
And it might be special for new members, new clients. So all of a sudden they're a new client potentially, and you say, one-time offer, I want to give you $10 off of this hair treatment or whatever it is, or a free gloss, something along those lines. Your goal is to convert them from an email list subscriber to a client. So
Okay.
that would be like the in-person element. If you were to ever like go to an event and meet tons of people, collect all the business cards you possibly can. Almost everyone has them. And it's a really easy way for you to not say like, hey, here's a list, sign up for it, and I'll send you email updates. Nobody does that. They're like,
Totally.
I don't want emails. But if you say like, I'd love to send you something special, they're excited about that.
Yeah.
So that is what I would do on the organic side of it. But building an email list is a little bit different online. How comfortable are you with learning the world of online marketing?
Yes and no.
Okay.
I am open to it, but I'm not incredibly familiar with it. So yeah.
Well, this is what we all focus on. Like, this is what everyone who's watching this is what we spend all of our time learning. Here's a
Yeah.
beauty. You can dive in and do and learn and implement as much as you're comfortable with. If I were a hairstylist today, the first thing I would do is pack out an email list. And I know that when I open my chair, I would literally be booked out for weeks because I know now how to just pack an email list full. So what it looks like is basically, when you're scrolling through your Facebook feed and you
Mm-hmm.
see an ad and it says, we've got an awesome offer for you. Let's say it's like green, what is it, Green Chef or Blue Apron,
Yeah.
one of those. You see that.
Yep.
And they get us all because it says, free orders, free $50 order, free something, or just some offer. Maybe it's a tip guide. Like we've got a bunch of tips for you on how to keep your hair, fresh throughout the summer or something like that. You see it, you click it, all of a sudden it brings you through to this page that basically says like, enter your email here. And then there's a button. You've seen them, haven't you?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are all email list builders. So
Okay.
every single person who does those has honed in on the idea of what building your list and digital marketing is all about. All
Okay.
it is giving somebody an offer that's of value. It could be a free something, free service, free bottle of something. You know what the cost per good is for something small.
Right.
A free Aveda lotion, the little ones that cost $1,
Yeah.
whatever it is. Or it could be, I want to give you like my cheat sheet or my quick tips for cute hairstyles or over the summer.
Okay.
So it seems super overwhelming, but the cool part is I have put all of this together in a free course. So if you implement all of this yourself, it's all totally available to you for free, which is
Okay.
pretty nice. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah. So you'll be able to watch the videos step by step, but hands down, the first thing you have to do is build your email list and then build a nurturing sequence so that when somebody joins the email list, day 1, they get this email. Day 5, they automatically get this email. Day 7, they get this. And then 1 month after, another email. It's
Yeah.
actually a lot easier than it sounds, which is kind of nice. It can be completely automated, so you don't have to be sitting there being like, oh, wait, which day is it? Send. It's
Totally.
amazing. So that's like the email acquisition side of things, and it can be organic or it can be paid. What do you think so far?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it seems reasonable.
Yeah. And then what I would do is with Facebook ads, you're going to be able to target people based on specific interests. So let's think real fast about like your ideal client. Tell me a little bit more about them. Do they have blonde hair? Do they like balayage? What are your favorite looks to create? I'm going
Yeah.
to eat ice cream while you talk.
What was that?
I'm going to eat ice cream while you talk.
That sounds so good. um, yeah, I would say my two primary, well, it kind of depends because I feel like the two types of clients that I love to work with, um, well, I'll back up. I love that I don't specialize. I offer pretty much any hair service. There's only a couple that I don't offer just because I just don't feel like I'm the best at it or whatever, or I just don't like it, or I can't stand behind it as a service or like as a salon service provider.
Mm-hmm.
So I like that I don't specialize, but I would say what probably is the one that I enjoy doing the most and is the most profitable as far as like making the most money and being more of a long-term, like stable client would be color clients, specifically blondes and like balayage, that type of stuff. But also clients that really enjoy and love doing like the fashion colors and the unicorn or the
Ooh.
mermaid hair, things like that, because you are working smarter, not harder. And being able to make more without having to see as many people.
Yeah.
And I love doing it. I mean, of course, first and foremost, like I'm passionate about it and I love doing that, but it's also helpful to do one service all day as opposed to doing 10 services and making half the money. Right. So, yeah.
So you like the complex color clients. Those are the
Yeah,
best. I miss
they are.
them.
Yeah, no, they are. They're totally the best. And a lot of people don't like them, but I love them.
I love them too. I think they're
Yeah.
so fun. Okay, so your girl is going to be someone like me where she has roots and she's like, I need to get in. The reality is, this is my schedule. In my ideal world, this is how often I come in. So maybe you could even create some type of guide for your person where it's like, uh, is your blonde super high maintenance? Take a look at these 5 makeovers that cut the maintenance of your blonde in half.
Yeah.
And then you create or have someone create a PDF that shows them. So like if you were to take a picture of my hair before and I was like, I only want to get my hair done once every 2 to 3 months, when the reality is right now, it's like, this is overgrown, but it has to be every 4 to 6 weeks. Then if I were to look at this beautiful ombre and after, and it said, here's what we did. We did this, I did an ombre, but you don't use your terms or any of the actual products that you use. You just say like, here's what we did. Here's what the service is called. We did this. And then this was the result. We did a gloss to add shine. Now she's able to come in this often, and this is how much that service cost, and this is how much it saved her in services because she wasn't having to come in every fill in the blank. So almost like a not necessarily all based on savings, but talking about how you can transform the looks. Or another common complaint of color clients, this is how fast blonde hair turns really brassy.
Yeah.
So what if you were to say like this cool quick fix that makes every brassy blonde bright again, and it only takes 30 minutes. And as you and I both know, it's just a simple tone. But what if that were to be like an upsell thing in between appointments, and that one service brought somebody in for the first time, and you're the first person to get rid of the brass in their hair, and now they're going to come in 4 weeks to see you. So I imagine you saying like, here are the quick fixes I can do to make your hair better and more beautiful and vibrant and exactly how you envisioned it. Or, here's the crazy unicorn colors that we achieved for these people, or mermaid colors, because this is what they wanted. But the reality is this fades really fast. So here's what we do. And then here's how we refreshed it in 4 weeks. It was just a 30-minute appointment. We put the tone on. We did a quick dry. It cost her this rather than having to spend $200 every 4 weeks to get everything totally redone. So I imagine this beautiful guide of like before and afters. And then what happens is people are going to say like, I want to know who this is. So you either organically market it to start, or even do paid advertisements to get people on your email list. And in order for them to get that guide, they have to give you their email address.
Yeah.
That's going to attract exactly who you want to work with. Like, do you do a lot of curly, or is that not necessarily your favorite?
Curly hair?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I love working with curly hair. Love
Really?
working with curly hair. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So then that would be a really good guide too. Curly girls are so loyal. You know this.
Yeah.
The more curly girls you can get on your client list, the better, because they all have curly girl friends.
Yeah.
So they're all like, oh my gosh, my friend Lisa has crazy hair. She has to come see you. And then before you know it, you've got a whole posse of friends. Blondes are also the same way. Same thing with natural hairstyles. I did a lot of relaxer treatments in jute, which is kind of funny because everyone was like, you probably don't know how to do a relaxer. Oh no, I totally know how to do a relaxer service.
You're like, no, actually.
It's like my favorite. So when you can hone in on like 1 or 2 niches and like say, these are the 2 people I want these blondes because they have 15 blonde friends and all of them are not happy with their hairstylist. And I want, these unicorn colors, or I want the curly girls. They're going to be so loyal that one email address could literally, as you know, you've worked long enough that you know that referrals are so powerful. It could end up with 5 to 10 clients.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the other thing that I think as well is one question I had is, how are people going to be booking? Are they going to be booking through the salon system to work with you?
So I have access to my books currently already.
Okay.
So yes, they can absolutely call the salon if they want to, or through the salon system. We recently, like in the last 6 months, also launched online booking, which truthfully, it's like,
A
for
nightmare.
me, my worst nightmare, because people don't know what they're booking. They think they've booked enough time and they haven't, whatever. So I have actually taken myself off of online booking.
Yeah.
Also, it just creates chaos during the day where you have like a haircut at 11 and a haircut at 7 and someone cancels in between and you're like, great, so what am I doing?
Yes.
Um, so I have taken myself off of online booking to
Yeah.
avoid that stuff. But I have a lot of clients that actually reach out to me directly if they don't already pre-book, and set up their next appointment. And just because they have my phone number, I have access to my books at any time,
Cool.
through my phone. So it varies, but right now it's currently set up for whatever's best for the client, but I'm fully capable of doing any of it myself. So
Awesome. So you at least will have access to those emails if you were to.
yeah.
Okay. So a really realistic pace for nurturing an email list. So let's say it's 3 months down the road and you've implemented everything and you're like, oh, this is so cool, Rachel. I have an email list of 200 people. I send out a blast to my email list and all of a sudden I get 6 appointments booked.
Yeah.
It's super powerful. As you know, that can make the difference between a dead Saturday and a Saturday that's hopping. If you're like, hey, this Saturday I have an opening for you, just call blah, blah, blah. It's going to make a huge difference. But sending an email once a week that delivers like tips and tricks and ideas. If a salon didn't just sell to me all the time, I would not unsubscribe from their newsletter ever.
Yeah.
Like if they were to be like, hey, here's our cool trick of the week. And there was like a little video or a link to a video on Facebook or something, I'd be like, this is so cool. I want this.
Yeah.
Hey, here's what's the hot, color of this week that everyone's talking about, blah, 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 blah. And it's all very promotional. But as you know, everything is based on fashion. As
Right.
you know, like the wave of what the trend is for the season comes out, and then slowly it starts trickling in. And I remember the stylists that did the best were the ones that introduced it in phases to their clients. They'd be like, hey, this is the trend. Do you want to try this one? And it was like almost every single appointment for the rest of the year or even the rest of the season. They'd be like, here's another one. Like, would you want to try this? Or here's another idea. And at least there's inspiration, because if your hairstylist keeps you inspired, you're never going to stop. So
Totally.
sending out one email per week is the ideal nurturing process.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay. Wonderful.
Yes. So not too bad, I promise. You get pretty comfortable with it. The first few are definitely awkward. Everyone who's watching, who has sent out their first nurturing email to their list? Oh, and you don't have to you don't have to write anything down. We're going to put together all the notes for you, so you'll have all the strategy in one place.
Perfect.
And then I'll give you links to the list building party. But anyone who's watching this training, who has sent out their first email to their list? The very first one, and that's like almost all you've done, or maybe you are considering sending out your first email. Let me know in the chat. I remember my first 5 emails. I was so scared. I was like, what if I say something stupid? Like, what if these people hate it? And I forgot, oh yeah, they signed up for my list. Like, they want to hear from me,
Right.
in a good way. And if I can keep it entertaining and fun, they're never going to be mad. They're going to be excited to get your emails.
Right.
So,
okay, awesome.
Not too bad.
Yeah, I guess, and we may get, I don't even know what time it is. We may get more into this. I'm not really sure. I guess my biggest, the biggest hurdle that I feel like I would have to overcome would be like, how the hell do you even make it like pretty or like eye-catching, or I guess obviously like you can put a picture or a video or whatever in there, but like we've all seen the websites and the emails and the advertisements where you're like, they have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? Like, I know that sounds stupid, but also, yeah.
Yeah. So I still remember when I got an email and I could tell there was this marketing agency that I was on their list for some reason. And I could tell that they sent out their first email, and you could tell because it was just so awkward. It was like, spring has finally sprung, and we are so excited that you are a part of our wonderful list. And I was like, oh, this is so bad. Like, I'm going to stay on it and just watch. But we all start somewhere. And there are some really cool free resources. I wish I had known about this when I started as a hairstylist. Canva.com. Canva is like this life-changing software. It's a website, basically. It's like for anyone who doesn't understand Photoshop, it allows you to create like beautiful graphics. I mean, like stunningly beautiful.
Okay.
For everything. So like for social media, all of a sudden when you check it out, you're going to be like, oh, this is how people make beautiful graphics.
Okay.
Canva's amazing. So is WordSwag is also really nice. I'll put all these together for you. WordSwag, Canva, Adobe Spark. There are just these really cool free or super, super, super low cost, like $3 for the app.
Yeah.
And you can use them and create those really attractive graphics. Another thing that's really interesting, and I think a lot of hairstylists don't know this, it's not necessarily legal to use images of celebrities in your advertising on social media. That being said, if you're doing it, you're not going to necessarily get in trouble today because everyone in the hair industry is doing it.
Right.
Absolutely everyone. But it's a good goal to try to create as much of your own content as you can, because there will be a day where Facebook cracks down on that and people are going to start getting in big trouble for using celebrity images. Just kind of interesting. I did it. I totally did. Like, love Kim Kardashian's color. You can have it too. You know. The other thought that I have for social media. So it sounds like you're doing pretty well on Instagram. Wouldn't you say like you've got a good semi-engaged following, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Awesome.
I feel like I could always do better, but yes.
Yeah. Well, if you're doing images, I'm sure you're doing great because people love hair Instagrams. I do too.
Yeah.
They're envisioning what they could possibly have. How about Facebook? How do you like Facebook so far?
So here's my, and I do utilize Facebook. I probably don't see as much reach on Facebook unless I'm boosting or promoting an image or something. But the thing that I am trying to like not do is so many people that are not a part. Okay, so I want to be careful how I like word this, but there are so many people out there doing what we have gone to school to do that have no education or background in it, and really don't understand what it is to like be a beauty professional, whether it's makeup, skincare, hair, whatever. And so you see so many people taking advantage of Facebook on their personal pages and professional pages to market a brand that they're working with, that when it comes down to it is just someone that you don't know pushing their product on you and not inspiring you to like do something fresh or new. So I like the concept of using Facebook if people want to engage with it, but I also am very timid in a lot of ways with it because I don't want to be that person that's like, hey, look at all these things that I always do. And you've seen them 1,000 times before and you don't care if I'm selling a certain product or doing a certain, whatever. And obviously I think there's something different between someone who's in the industry behind the chair or a service professional of some sort, as opposed to just like carrying an at-home makeup line or something like that. But it annoys me a ton. So I know that it's got to annoy people that have no care in the world about what we do. So yeah.
I also think
does that answer your question?
Yeah. And I'm going to read between the lines with my own interpretation a little bit. I think, and we don't have to like be careful at all. I think we're all kind of talking about those people who do a lot of multi-level makeup lines. And the frustrating thing is there's two waves. There's the people who are doing it really well and building relationships and doing a good job of it. And then there's like there's a big surge of people who are just, check this out, do this, comment here, do this. And it's like just pushing products all the time. And so it gets really old. One of the best ways I want to hear your guys' thoughts on what you think would be the best, but I have this really, really strong thought of what would set you apart. Video is huge on Facebook.
Okay.
Video is like amazingly powerful. There is a science to people who go like viral. I've done it. I've got a couple clients who are doing it / have done it. It's so amazing. And it's not an accident, but a lot of it starts with video. Video is like one of the easiest ways to make a massive splash. So like when I did my video about being a social media manager, I think it was like over 600,000 people saw that video because I was getting 1 cent video views. So I created the video as a post, and then you create the compelling copy. I think we lost your voice. I think you're muted. I started a call the other day on mute, so it was kind of embarrassing. I thought nobody was responding to me. We'll see if we get Naomi back.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, perfect. We can hear you. We can't see you. Technical difficulties.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes.
You see me now.
There we go. Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the heck I just did, but we're good. I got it. New to this.
Perfect. So one of the things with video is that if you create a video organically, it's going to do better already than most of the posts that you put out there. So you're going to already organically get more views. And so the videos that are doing really well, what I want you to start doing is noticing, like the scammy videos where they're like, check out this like one oil that I put on my lips and it makes it look amazing. And then it like drips down their lips. Start to notice why they're doing it though. And like start to say, okay, they're doing something that's catching attention. Or if you see like here's how we do the waterfall braid. Yes, it's a gimmick because nobody really comes into a salon and asks for a waterfall braid, like almost ever. At least that's what I found. Unless they just got like that mermaid color and they want it, but usually they want their hair curled.
Right.
But it's a cool gimmick to get more reach and more exposure as an authority in hair. And so these videos are really popular. The training videos, the kind of like, look at this, in like 1 second or in like 15 seconds, we were able to create the perfect, Kylie Jenner pout. Isn't that amazing? And then all of a sudden, it gets a bigger reach and you can like give a tip in it. And here's why it's different. If you give value, like you teach something in that video, you don't feel like a dirt bag. You know what I mean? You feel like, okay, I put value out there. This isn't me just pushing products. Somebody said, oh, wow, this is so cool. I'm going to try this. Then all of a sudden you're like, okay, there's that validation that this actually was helpful to somebody. So tutorials are huge. Check out how I got this look. I think those are amazing. Anytime you do any kind of unicorn, mermaid, beautiful, pretty colors, do a video of it. Like, even if it's just like you've got the hair and you're like picking it up and playing with it and watching the colors change, just record some video of it because it can easily be edited into something amazing. Case in point, I have a bunch of videos that are really bad quality. And my go-to video girl, she's one of my students. She's a queen of video. She took all those hideous, really badly recorded videos and turned it into this really cool intro for my content. And so if you can take a video and turn it into something that's viral worthy, and then all of a sudden, as you know, people go crazy and share. And then I would show you how to make that kind of help encourage that a little bit.
Yeah.
Now, what happens when you go viral? Nothing unless you make something happen from it. So what I mean by that is like, number one, when you have a video that gets a huge reach, there are ways to capture that audience and remarket to them, but that's all a little more advanced. So the 3 things I would focus on the most for you include, number 1, building your email list. Number 2, nurturing your email list. And number 3, building incredible video content where a really good goal would be like 1 video per week. It'll get you completely outside of your comfort zone. The first couple, you'll be like, this really sucks. And then it just gets a little bit better each time you do it.
Okay.
What do you think?
I feel like I'm being pushed out of my comfort level, but
So the other thing that's really cool about this is as you start to progress, I personally am a fan of business owners diving in and at least learning what something means. I think that's pretty important just in the beginning. If like at some point you're like, I don't like any of this. I want to just take pictures and do the video. I don't want to put it together. I don't want to market it on social media. There are people you can hire that can do that for you. So like,
Yeah.
that's a good thing. You can hand it off at any point. Somebody can handle all of the social media and help you to become like the online influencer in Minnesota. What city are you in?
I'm in Minneapolis. Well, yeah, working in Minneapolis. I live in Berkeley, but
Okay. Well,
Minneapolis.
that's even better because you can literally market to everybody.
Yeah.
Pretty much.
It's very centralized.
Yeah.
We're right in Uptown, so.
Oh,
yeah.
that's perfect. Where's that located? Well, we don't have to talk about that on this video because there's like tons of people who will watch it. But so those are the 3 thoughts that I have. Which one would you say is the one you're the most excited about? And which one would you say is the one you're the most apprehensive about?
I feel like I can get on board more with like starting an email list. And obviously like I need to figure out like the right tools and stuff to do that, but I would feel most comfortable with that. I would feel the most vulnerable doing videos because I know I'm going to look like an idiot.
It's okay though. Like, honestly, videos don't start out good. Like I just shared the other day one of my first videos where I was talking about social media, and I'm like, here's why you have to do social media. It's like, it's really bad. But as I look at like where I've come to now, I can hop on with like no makeup and a t-shirt, and I can meet at a summit and do something, because it's like you just get so comfortable with it. It's like the first time you do highlights. I still remember, like, do you remember with the cholesterol, and you're like, the foil's slipping, it's not a thing, you're like, this is impossible, and they're like, if you can't do this, you can't be a hairstylist. And then the reality was, it was a lot easier than we thought it was.
Totally.
Yeah, totally. It's exactly the same.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it gets a lot easier. What ideas do you guys have for Naomi and for any hairstylist who's kind of watching this? What do you guys think about the ideas I've said so far? I know everyone's kind of quiet because I feel like it's like dinner time for most people. We've got a decent amount of people on here today, though. That's pretty cool. And we've got the other side of the world here, too. So we have students from all across the world, which is really fun. Like, we've got students from New Zealand and Australia and the UK and Netherlands and Africa. And so sometimes the morning calls are only the US and Canada and Puerto Rico and stuff. And sometimes the UK people will stay up like, or wake up really early and come and join. Yeah. But then like the evening ones are the other side of the world, which I really like, because then it's like we get 2 different flavors of who's going to be joining. So we've got a little of both right now.
Perfect.
What ideas or thoughts do you guys have? Let's see. Georgia says, I am so addicted to those cool hair videos. My mom is a hairdresser, so I keep forwarding her those color changing, glow in the dark viral vids. Georgia's got amazing hair too, by the way. She's got beautiful hair. And I agree with that 100%. Even to this day, I still stop and look at her tutorial videos because I'm like, how did they do this? This is really cool. Let's see. Sonia says, morning from Australia. Megan says, I love B&As. B&As? What is that? I love B&As. Before and after. Okay.
Gotcha.
Megan's former QVC, so she's like 10 years ahead of all of us in the best way. She knows like everything cool. I knew it was a QVC term. Okay, she says she also loves quick videos for Instagram and Pinterest. Canva. By the way, Canva is going to change your life, because in a couple minutes you can create gorgeous graphics that make you feel like, oh, this is how salons do it. Like, this is so beautiful. And I did it, and I didn't have to use my brain to try to come up with graphic design. I'm not graphic design. So Canva saves my life.
Totally.
Like, everything preset. Let's see. Sonia also says, yes, those tutorial videos. Chaz says late night from UK. Sonia also said morning from Australia. I think I already said that. But yeah, people are wanting tutorial videos. There's a huge market for them. So that might be the big push for you, even if you just do one to start. And one thing that's helpful is, if you think about it this way, you could just do those videos to start, and they're going to be, just pretty average, when you start. And then someday you can, if one is like a winner and people are like, oh, I love this, that's when you can send it to somebody to have it turned into a glam viral video. And then that's where it can go big. You don't have to start with the glam viral videos. Nobody does. So Georgia says, I love the tutorial videos and also the pictures with step 1, 2, 3, all in one grid. Easier to save on my phone and refer back to when I want to do a pretty style. Oh, I like that. So, you know, when you do like the tint and then in the next step you add the balayage and then you show the after. Those are awesome. I also love too, like the progressive ones where you take a photo each time and it's like, look how we brought her from black to honey, you know? I think these are so cool. Oh, Caleb says hi, by the way. And Caleb is, I don't think you know him, but he's in Minnesota too. So he's, so Jules says, Pinterest boards. Question for you. Do you do anything with Pinterest yet? Or would that be like a whole foreign language to you?
So I have messed around on Pinterest a little bit. I secretly totally hate it. Like, I hate Pinterest, and I know that people use it and like I know that it's popular. I have just never been able to get into it, and I think I've had an account for 4 years now, and I know that is one that I like hate using, and I know that sounds weird for like a 20-something to say, but it's just not my thing.
That's okay. I have someone who manages my Pinterest for me because that's not my favorite platform. So that's totally fine. Pinterest boards would be really good for any hairstylist. The one thing with Pinterest is I imagine it being the most powerful if you ever moved into an education space. Yeah. The education space in the hair is prime for online courses right now. I mean, it's still so open. Like, it is 100% open. Do you know Lindsay from Jute? Lindsay, the colorist with platinum hair?
I don't think so.
Okay. She was like, if you ever want to go back into hair and partner with me on an online academy, let me know, you know, because it's like, if that's something you ever want to get into, it would be huge. John Raymond just recently did this. Yeah. He went into online, but he's not killing it because he's not a marketer.
Yeah.
So just kind of good to keep in the back of your mind a little bit. Caleb says, I love reaction videos and using testimonials as content. I think testimonials are huge in the hair industry. If people can see themselves saying what your testimonials say, like if I were to say, she gave me the perfect blonde that wasn't brassy, I felt like a true Daenerys, like it was perfect, then all of a sudden people are gonna be like, oh, I want that, you know, and they put themselves in the chair as that person.
Cool.
Megan says, something I've been loving is a 2-minute tip video on anything that might provide value to your audience and would then bring people back to you for a service. She's so right, especially since like if you were to set up a tutorial video, it doesn't have to be super hard. Like you can just start out with like you with having someone hold it or set up a tripod and just say like, hey guys, here's my quick tip for you. Today I want you to try out this. This is a way that you keep your hair from getting frizzy. Like if it were for me, I'd be like, okay guys, here's what I want to teach you. This is how to have perfect hair when you wake up. So before you go to bed, you French braid your hair starting at the top, but make sure to leave your bangs down so that they don't get slicked back. French braid your hair and then use a soft scrunchie at the end of your hair. Then when you wake up, you're going to have soft waves. You can pull your hair down and then, you know, mess it up. And all of a sudden you have perfect morning hair. And then and people will be like, oh, I got to try that. Okay, what else? Everyone's like talking about video because we all know. My hairstylist has a cool light and tripod set up to shoot video with and a great wall in her, probably in her salon to shoot video against. She rocks it out. So if you ever do want to get into more and more video, here is what my setup looks like. I've got 2 umbrella lights and then I've got a ring light. Technically, all you need is a ring light because it gives you like the perfect light, except I have no real makeup on. But when you do this, it gives you amazing, this is the beauty look, right?
Yeah.
Well, when you have makeup and hair done. So then you're like, hey, I'm so excited because I'm going to be showing you how to add the perfect contour, or I'm going to show you how to braid your hair yourself, or whatever it is. Totally. So that's a little too bright for my lack of makeup today. So that's the kind of setup you could do down the road. But in the meantime, keep it super simple and just record yourself on your phone.
Okay.
You can totally do it. I think the biggest thing is going to be walking you through the steps of building your email list. And when you get your first 100 people, like 100 people on an email list for a hairstylist, that's a lot. That's like a life-changing potential, business clientele.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And then I also think, yeah, I just think that's going to be the biggest thing for you. I'm
Okay.
really excited. Are you excited about it? A little nervous and
Yeah.
excited?
Yeah. Totally.
Yeah. Anything else you have questions about? By the way, Megan says, I'm glad you hate Pinterest. It keeps us in business.
Seriously, my least favorite thing in the world. Yeah, that's definitely helpful. And I would say that is a great starting point for sure.
Yeah. I think even if you just do like one video a month to start, a goal would be one a week, but just start with one and be like, okay, this is going to be the first time. It's only going to get better from here. And then your email list is nice because it's always consistently growing, always building. I'm excited.
Yeah.
So the other thing, do you have another question?
Well, so with doing video content, would you say that it would be best to, as a source of sharing that? I feel like I probably get more reach on my personal page, but I still want to utilize my professional page since it's the like primary way to contact me. So would you suggest using video content on Instagram and Facebook and both professional and personal page until it has enough reach, or there's enough of a following to just go professional, or
Yeah.
where would you say?
I am a huge fan of doing a slight integration of business on your personal.
Yeah.
Not a lot. Like you could be talking about things that you're loving or results, but just don't go salesy on it. As long as you don't go salesy, then you can totally talk about your business on your personal page, actually a lot more than you think, because then people are only going to unfollow you, honestly, if they're jealous.
Cool.
Like your friends are going to be happy for you, and your friends and your family and everyone, they want to see what you're up to. They think it's cool. When you show a before and after, they're inspired. And so I think that's perfect on your personal profile. And then the biggest thing is, this is kind of hard. This is hard, but it's something that us marketers know. The less on a personal profile, the less of a call to action you have, a little bit, the better. So if it's for a salesy thing, like let's say you're doing a balayage promotion, you could say like, oh my gosh, look at this amazing result I got for this client. Here was her before and here was her after. Can you believe it? We did it in 15 minutes or whatever. But then it just took like an hour to process, or, you walk people through the process. And then the biggest thing would be like, don't say, book a call with me at the end.
Okay.
And the reason being, the second you do that, people are like, ugh, she's just trying to sell.
Yeah.
So there's this art to selling that isn't selling. It's part of the reason why when people see on my profile some of the wins that I'm having for myself and my clients, they automatically are like, I should really reach out to Rachel. But if I were like, hey guys, I've got 2 more discovery calls today, like book a call with me, everyone would be like, no, I don't want to.
Good.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then Jewel said this, and I agree 100% with your personal page, change the language to be more personal. Speak about your emotional experience of working, or to expound on that, the emotions of your client. Like she was so emotional and happy because she thought she was never going to have hair lighter than black ever again. And we were able to get her several shades lighter to a rich, beautiful chestnut color.
Totally. Okay, awesome.
Yeah, totally go for it. I'm excited. So I'll send you, tonight I'll put this video up for the rest of my students to see. And the cool part is they'll be adding more ideas and comments. So right now I think we have like, what is it, like 15 people in? Oh, it ended up being a decent amount. I guess it's only 12 people, but no, 16, can't add. 16 people. But then we have over 400 people in the platform. So everyone's going to take a look at it and add their suggestions. And then I'll send it on over to you. So you can be like, okay, here are the first steps. Here's what I need to do. I'm excited.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. When do you go officially independent?
So still figuring that out. Since my surgery last year, because I had almost 5 months off of work last year, there's been a little bit of a not rebuilding, like I've definitely kept most of my clientele, but from getting laid off and going to a new salon and then immediately going into emergency surgery it definitely set me back a little bit. I was hoping to go independent within the first 6 months, and then all of that happened. So I'm hoping, my goal is by the end of this year. But at the absolute latest, I'm hoping for early next year, early spring-ish, something like that. So, goal is within the next 6 months, but we will see.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I think you can totally do it, especially if you build your email list over the next 6 months. Like,
yeah.
To give you some crazy perspective, my email list was at 0 2 years ago. And in March of this year, so just about a year and a half later, it was at 3,200 emails. And today it's at just about like 8,000 something. And
cool.
so, yeah, so it's like it can grow really fast as you want it to, as slow as you want it to. I haven't even been super aggressive with mine. So, yeah,
cool.
I wouldn't need 8,000 though, because that would be like all of Minnesota and you'd be booked out for the rest of forever with that. And I'm not even joking.
Totally.
Yes.
Totally. Okay, awesome.
All right, Naomi, thanks for coming. Anybody have any last thoughts for Naomi regarding strategy, or want to drop it in the Facebook group? I'll post the replay to this tonight so you guys can see it all. Anything else? We'll just see.
No.
Perfect.
I think that's a great start. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Naomi. Have such a good night. Bye, everyone. I'll see you all later. Take care.
You.
Yes. Bye.